Hey guys, it's QuickyBaby and welcome back to World of Tanks. This time I am playing in the Tier 7 German light tank, the Aufklarrungspanzer Panther. Now this video is about a month, maybe a month and a half after we saw Thanimal have a fantastic round on Severogorsk in his AFK Panther, aka the Awful Panther. All of those names get shoved at this vehicle. It's basically the hull of a Panther with the turret of a VK2801, if you didn't know. Now, I am basically the top tier tank on this game. Even though it looks like I'm at the bottom of the list, your light tanks get matched up as if they were one tier higher. So tier 7 light tanks get matched up like a tier 8 medium. Tier 8 light tanks get matched up like a tier 9 medium. And so you have to have a really good role in this game. Now this gun is accurate. It's got a good amount of penetration, more than enough to be able to get through this bulldog. And we put in our first shot. But considering we allowed him to close the distance to about 200 meters, he's going to spot us. Now I thought that that one shot that I put into him would really help my Panzer to be able to handle him. The bulldog with an autoloader is capable of dishing out a lot of damage very quickly. But for some reason the enemy bulldog decided to drown himself instead of fight that Panzer. Now I'm playing on Elhaluf. Push location that you see me using is very important indeed. There's an enemy Pershing there, and he definitely is the best player on the enemy team. I fire one. He returns around at me, and I realize that is not going to be a very good engagement for my tank. My hull armor, while it is well angled, at the front at least, is still fallible, especially to that 180 millimeters of penetration, I believe, that the Pershing gets with its 90 millimeter gun. There's no time for that. We've spotted a T-150 in the open. We take a few shots at him, trying to predict what his speed will be like. And we won't know until later whether those have gone in or not. So, as I was saying, a month and a half ago, roughly, I released a video that Thanimal had in his Aufklarrungspanzer Panther, and it really inspired me to give this tank a go. Up until that point, I had literally not played a single round in it. I had avoided it because when it was implemented into the game, I had already played or made my way up around the other route to get towards the Leopard prototype. But now, the only way to get to the Speerpanzer RU-251, which is now the top tier German light tank, you have to go through the Aufklarrungspanzer Panther unless you want to drop a lot of free experience. So I wanted to give this vehicle a go, and I have to say I've been having some pretty good results in these kind of matchups where you are top tier. It is an absolutely amazing vehicle. And here's that Pershing that we talked about earlier. We reloaded a premium round to give ourselves the most chance we had to be able to get through him, but unfortunately, none of the rounds managed to connect with his hull armor and weren't able to take him down. So we reload our regular rounds, and let's just take a look at what the penetration is. 157 with the standard rounds, and I believe 221 with your APCR. I like to imagine that I'm using the Comet when I play this tank. That's roughly the kind of penetration characteristics that you will get with it. So the enemy have ripped their way through that flank. I spotted a Cromwell at the back, but I didn't quite gauge his position. So we fire one into the top of the AT-15, but again it bounces. And now the situation has taken a turn for the worse. We are 3 tanks down, make that 2 tanks down after that on-the-move kill on the Cromwell. This T-150 comes out of nowhere. We react quickly and track him up in the air. It looks like he's already used his repair kit. And what I'm doing here is I'm changing the angle. I'm making his side armor more flat so we're able to get through both his track and also penetrate his hull armor. In our first position, we wouldn't have ever done any damage to him, only taken off his tracks. Now the enemy are being very aggressive, and we managed to put in a good shot into the T-34. Now we've got IS-3s against us. Those guys are capable of shaving off about 40% of our hit points with one shot, and we don't want that to happen. But we also need to help this Borsig behind us. The Borsig behind us is one of the few remaining tanks that we have, and he's also a strong player. But I have to say enough is enough, and we are faced by overwhelming numbers. And I get out. Now we're down by 3 tanks again. I'm really sorry that I had to let that Borsig go, but I felt like we would just both die for no reason there. Sometimes you need to know when it's time to stand and fight. And I am a Panther. A very heavy medium tank. We rammed that tier 7 Soviet medium, the T-43, for over 450 damage. Taking him out very quickly. And speed is of the essence here. We need to take our opportunities. We're still 3 tanks behind, and the enemy have got 4 tier 8s. A tier 8 artillery and a tier 7 heavy versus a tier 7 light, a tier 8 medium, and a Jagdpanzer. But when you get these kind of opportunities, you have to take them. So what happened here is the enemy thought, that Aufpanther, he'll die to the T-43 and the Tiger P. And now the AT-15 is finding how annoying it can be to be shot over and over and over again by this rapid rate of fire 75mm. And we are turning this game around right now. So we need to seize this opportunity to keep taking our opponents apart. They still have 4 tier 8 tanks versus a tier 8, a tier 7, and a tier 6. I want to focus the IS-3 down first. We put a good one into him. He turns his turret towards us, which allows the Inden Panzer to finish him off. And now we're hunting for the weak point on the AT-15. He puts 1 into us, reducing our remaining hit points to a 1-shot now for any of the remaining vehicles. But wow, what an engagement that was. And it shows you what a cornered Aufklarrungspanzer is capable of. Now this is a very tricky situation. We dodge the shell back and forth by doing a wiggle. We track him, and the only way out of this is to try and stop him from moving and get round the other flank. He turns round, he instantly repairs his tracks, and he comes after us. And now what I'm thinking about is dodging the artillery, and I'm also thinking that the T-32, who was turning his hull armor around, might come and engage us. Now we see that the T-32 has not followed us. It's time to get back in there and help our team out as quickly as we can. He puts in a great shot into the Inden Panzer, reducing his hit points to within a 1-shot, so we have to act swiftly. Well played to the T-32. He secured his hull armor to the front of his opponents. Or is that he's actually got his rear to them? Okay, that's confusing. I guess he was trying to run away. Now he turns his hull armor towards the Jagdpanzer Fear, but we have him. We track him and we ask the Jagdpanzer to attack with us, knowing that this is really our only chance for us to take this T-32 out. The Jagdpanzer goes down swinging, and thank you to you, Mr. Jagdpanzer. You allowed me to flank that T-32 and put out 823 damage into him. And now, oh my word, that was a crazy engagement. I think that was 5 minutes, probably, of high intensity running commentary. And now we have a situation that when it happened, absolutely stressed the hell out of me. I am versus an FB 207 British Tier 8 artillery, and I don't have very many hit points left. So my plan is, I have to close the distance. I have to try and spot the artillery and then evade his fire. I have mobility, he does not have mobility. I have a great rate of fire, I only really have to dodge one of his shots. But then again, he has the advantage of only having to splash me to remove me from the game. So what I'm doing here is using the basin. I feel like if he comes over that ridge line, it's going to be very hard for him to put in a shot. And even though this is a gigantic slug of a tank, it is still pretty mobile. So what I want to do is to figure out where the artillery is. Now my thinking is I don't really want to go up to the east right now and fight him over those ridge lines. It's more important for me to try and keep the engagement at as long range as possible, where hopefully my camo rating, even though it's quite a large profile, I am still a light tank, I have my full camo rating on the move, and I do have a camouflage crew on this vehicle, which should help out. So I have left this whole area to the south open. But if he does pop over that ridge, I will simply just get over this side of this hill, and I need to evade his fire. That is the key. What you need to do against an artillery is hopefully never be caught out in the open. So I'm thinking this is where he has to be. Where is he? I haven't been spotted. I haven't been spotted. Surely I have spotted everything that could be up there. Alright, let's move on. So, for all I know, he might be round here and he might be making his way towards the cap circle. So I can't take that risk. The way that the game works is you have to be capping for, I think, 10 seconds before the opposition makes it into the cap circle to be guaranteed to win. And now this is a tense moment. We've done the hard work, but there's still one player in between us and taking this game down. Now, I've positioned my tank in a way so that I can flee immediately to those buildings. I don't want to be caught out in the open. As soon as I get spotted or I spot him, I will start moving immediately towards those buildings to try and get into some cover. And there he is. Okay, he's above me. I auto-aim on him and start to fire, but the shell goes very wide. And I have to get myself into cover. I'm knocking down a couple of buildings. There's a bit of a misplay, but thank goodness we made it in. Now, we have turned it into an engagement where we can outplay him. And that was one of the key things that we needed to do. We needed to turn it into an engagement where we can outplay him and not turn it into a, well, he either hits us and gets lucky or he doesn't. So what I can do now is try and look for angles. Got to find him, put a shot into him. We can see his gun is pointing all the way to the right, so we have enough time to put 2 shots into him. Always look at where the artillery's gun is pointing, because it takes them a blooming long time to aim. And with the rapid fire 75mm on the Aufklarrungspanzer, we could put 2 into him. We spot him again. Immediately we get the building between him and us. We try and bait out a shot by going backwards, and we're successful. But now I've got the problem of having a whole village in between me and my final goal, which is killing the artillery. Oh, I can't believe it. These buildings are just getting in the way. We're nearly there. Oh god, he's probably reloaded by now. 1, 2, headshot. We nailed it. And thankfully, we managed to outperform his track traverse of his tank, get to his side where he was unable to hit us. What an absolutely crazy game for the Aufklarrungspanther. This was the best game I've had in this vehicle so far. And I have to admit, I got pretty stressed. Probably more stressed than even when I've been playing Alien Isolation recently. I cannot believe that we had vision all along here, but it looks like the artillery must have been in this dip. So that's a word of advice to you. If you're trying to hunt down artillery on El Haluf, they're very likely to be hiding in this corner. And in retrospect, if I had gone and found him and got a spot on him, then I could have probably made an outplay on him. All in all, this was an absolutely ridiculous game on El Haluf. I thoroughly enjoyed the engagement that I had over here. It was touch and go. We made some plays. We had a lot of luck. And you have to be able to carry a game such as this in your light tank. Anyway, let's just have a very quick look at the post-game stats. So we managed to get 6,855 experience for our double, although I hasten to add that this was with some event experience attributed to it. This was a 1,828 base experience game in the Aufklarrungspanther, where we also had to get a high caliber medal in our light tank. It does look like some of our blind shots hit that T-150, as he does have a damaged gun. To be able to carry this game, we had to use the full mobility of the Aufklarrungspanther, at least towards the mid and late game. We traveled nearly 5 kilometers, taking out 7 tanks and doing 4,400 damage. Our marksmanship was pretty unremarkable this game. We were only hit 75% of our shots, but I did fire a lot of them blind and also quite a lot into buildings just to take them down. I've been really enjoying this tank, and I will be doing a full tank review on it very soon. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider giving it a like down below. It really helps the channel out. And if you liked this kind of light tank gameplay, then I will be unlocking the T-49, the brand new Tier 8 American light tank, on my live stream tonight. So head over to twitch.tv/QuickyBaby if you want to see me playing in a brand new tank. Furthermore, if you want to see the video that I was talking about earlier, the game that Thanimal had in his Aufklarrungspanzer, then simply click up here and it'll take you through to it. And let me know in the comments below if you have played the Aufklarrungspanzer in patch 9.3, especially if you have been trying to get towards the Speerpanzer RU-251. What are your opinions of it? Do you think it's great, or do you think it's garbage? Anyway, as always guys, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully I'll see you on the live stream tonight where I'll be playing my brand new T-49. You've been epic, and hopefully I'll see you soon.